Hi, I'm Barbara Battisti, and I'm calling from California. And I'm so excited to have Jeannie Zedan on today by call, sharing about all the wonderful things that are going on in your business and how it's taken off. And Jeannie, I don't even know where to begin. So you just start. Okay.
Are you ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this whole year has been a whole year of learning for me, and I just decided that it felt like it was the right time. So, um, when Dave's class came up in August, I thought, well, I'm traveling. I don't know if I can do it. So I told him I might not be able to. Well, then it became available. Another spot opened, and I thought, yeah, I can do it. He said, you don't have to be, whatever. We figured out the details. And so, boy, oh boy, some great things. In the wings, I have a gal who is very interested in Nikan, and she's send me everything you have. I want to know everything. I invited her to Balanced Life, Happy Life, and the story success stories, and she came. She did what she said she was going to do. And she's telling me about this person and this person and this person. So I'm kind of like, oh boy. And then when the um, 18K accelerator team, 18 karat gold accelerator team came to for with Mike and Ben and Barbara and Susan and Dave. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a person. I have someone ready, it was so exciting. And so I talked with her and I said, would you like to participate with me in this? And she said, well, sure. And she's just busy, busy, busy bee. She's has an organizing business, and she lives 90 miles north of me. And we met a few times. So anyway, what did you have a question?
I did. I
Okay.
did. I was going to back you up. So, what had you share with her, or what? I mean, I want to go to multiple sources of income, or your health. So, how did you open that door? Because she is very busy and she's got her career.
Yes, she actually, I had sent out my video, my 1 minute miracle video that I had made with Richard Brooke, and I she was an S, so I was going through my phone book, and she was an S, and so it was at the end of July. I just went down, each person and sent out 4 day, 4 day, and she responded back to me like within a week and said, oh, okay, Jeannie, I had met her earlier in the year through a networking event and by a customer of mine.
Wow.
And she said, you need to meet. This is how I met her. You need to talk to Sharon. She introduced us because she needs to sleep. And so that's where the beginning part. So in the back of my mind, I knew she needed to sleep. We just had a hard time connecting, and I sent her my video because I got to the S's. So she responded back to me, and through lots of threads of texting, she said, I need to talk with you about this because maybe I can make this another source of income. And
Mm.
I went, oh boy. So then with Dave's class, I took that through August and September or September and October, whenever it was. And uh, she kept asking me information about stuff. How do I get started? What is this? So I just invited her. She came to the powerhouse training. She got it. She's a business girl. She was in real estate for 25 years. So she's very business minded and organized. Of course, she's an organizer. So, and I thought, I need an organizer in my life. She'll be a good team member. So, anyway, um, she kept saying, oh, thank you for sending this. She responded back and forth. And I love that. I love it when people respond.
Yeah.
And to me, that tells me that they are interested, really interested. And it wasn't every day, but at least every couple of days she would respond. And she sends me a lowdown of what she did yesterday. I've got this person and I loaned him this and we're doing that. So it's very exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome. So
yeah.
you did teach me something in the aha realm with the surveys and the asking questions or defining I almost want to say and Mike said this so beautifully, you're trying to see if they're not the one or, defining,
Qualifying or.
yeah,
Mhm.
qualifying them. Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're getting rid of anyone, not really disqualifying in that way, but have in the back of your mind, what is it that who would you like to have as a business partner? What are the qualities that you would like to have in them? And it's, that law of attraction thing, when you start focusing on that, it kind of starts to happen. And so in Dave's um, smart networker, and his Monday morning things too are really good. On Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I believe Dave's trainings are fabulous. Um, and I've never really been a big numbers person. However, my husband listened to one, and my husband's a numbers man. So my husband listened to one of his trainings, part of it, as I was walking around doing things around the house one time. And this was earlier this year. And he goes, if I was going to learn from anyone, I would learn from him. So they related on the numbers thing. And I thought, oh, okay. So um, in his training, we learned how to work with the numbers. And so every business understands numbers. And I thought, okay, I relate to that. I can understand that. Like if I sell so many grip sticks at the market, I make this percentage of that. This is what I made, so it's important to kind of understand, have at least a general understanding of that.
Yeah.
And so I learned about teams, leader teams. It's great. It's great information. I'm not sure I could actually train anyone just at this point on that, but I have a general picture that I could show someone in my mind. And I love that. And so Sharon and I are working on that right now too. So did
Nice.
I answer the question? Oh,
Yeah.
the the surveys. We in Dave had us do a survey. And in my mind, I have to tell a quick little story on myself. Um, I did not ever I avoided people with clipboards in my life. And so now I became this one with a clipboard. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I have a great respect for people that have clipboards and that are doing surveys.
Uh,
And somewhere in the back of my mind, I was thinking they want something, and they don't. They want to ask you a couple of questions. So, but I think it's brilliant because it teaches you how to find out if someone is interested in what perhaps you may be talking about. So there's a water survey, and we could do this with any of our products. We could do a sleep
yeah.
survey and just come up with 3 or 4 questions like, how well do you sleep? Excuse me, would you be willing to help me? Um, I'm doing a quick survey. I have 3 little short questions to ask you. Um, and they can say yes or no. And so you learn about rejection. They don't want to, you go through all of those things, but it lets them know, sure, most people are like, sure, and so you ask them, do you sleep well at night or whatever? You can come up with your questions and find out if it's an interest of theirs. If it is an interest of theirs, then you might have a final question. Would you be interested in more information about blah, 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 blah? And you could garnish their information, not garnish, you could get their information. I'd love to send you something or let's have a call. So it's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
And your aha about yourself was
Yes.
on
My
the
aha was that,
clipboard.
look at, yeah, just the other day, 2 days ago, in the grocery store, I came out, I'm putting my groceries in the car, and a lady came up to me and said, ma'am, do you have just a minute to do a little quick survey? And it was about right to life or something. And I said, sure. I was sure. And she goes, could you do this? And this is just about, you live here, right? And I said, yes. Gave her my information, and away she went, and away I went. And I went, well, how simple was that? I could, and another lady I heard when I was done said, no, thank you. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. But you gave me some it was ahas, and there was just a tiny tweak that seemed to get people to the next level or get us to the next level. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I was, and the fact that you're continuing on. So you're doing four asks a day, and how's the follow up with that? Or are you?
Yeah. I'm kind of loosey goosey right now. I'm getting myself back um, towards that. I've used Mike and Sophia's video with the power band is fabulous. Just a little, and I'm going back through all my phone book again and sending them that video
Oh,
and with a little blip about something, and some people don't respond. And so following up with them is important. And I think a phone call is very good. And I've gotten a few responses back from, usually I have to leave a message when I call. And so it could be the time of day. I'm going to switch the time of day I'm calling just to see if, maybe evening might be better for them or something, So, um, yeah, I'm learning much about follow up and the importance of following up with someone. And when you put enough numbers out there, speaking of numbers, on a regular basis, and it's consistent, whatever your consistent is. With Richard Brooke, it was 4 a day, it takes 15 minutes and little text, blah, blah, blah. After you get enough you track those numbers, who you sent it to, and you start getting responses and you track that, then we can figure out where the problem is. Okay. Like with my video, was it the video that I sent? Or was it me following up? Or was it usually it's in the follow up somewhere for me. It's where it kind of falls in the cracks but you can always go back. I don't know if that helped, if that answered your question
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I get a little, so follow up, it really is the big key, and taking care of those people. And of course, the ones that respond are so valuable too. So
Yeah.
take them through a process.
So I just put us back on gallery mode for the Q&A and to ask questions. Yeah, Lorraine, you raising your hand?
Yeah, the follow-up and keeping track. What is your method of, you can get overwhelmed if you're sending out 4 a day and you're in a month, how many is that? And then you
Yes.
have to follow up. So how much time are you spending a day on organizing the list of all the contacts and then the ones you're following up? To me, I get overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And that's when Richard Brooks said to me, because I told him that too, I went, whoa. And he said, this is called momentum. So this is a part of our business. And when things get that way, you figure it out. But he did give us a sheet. And um, what I find works really good for me, because I have pencil and paper, I have a day planner, and I write each person's name down that I sent it to. And then at the bottom, I go, they watched the video or they didn't watch the video.
mhm.
And the day that because I can look on my text, I love using my phone. I'm telling you, I can go through all these threads of text. I've got them there, and I can go back and see when they responded. But if I sent a video out today to someone and they don't respond for 2 days, on that second day, then in my day planner, I put down they watched, and then I can follow up with them. As soon as they watched, then I go, because you get your ding and that kind of a thing. So I've become very aware of my texting that way too. But to track it, he sent us I'm not a very good Excel person, with spreadsheets. I know a little bit about this much about them, but he sent us a form, and we track how many that we sent out, how many videos, how many watched it, how many presentations, and how many did they join us, whether as a customer or a business partner. So then he goes, after 60 days, then we can see what your numbers are. And if you get 25%, that's really good, a quarter of whatever. So then the videos to the videos to the watching the video, if there's a good ratio there, then you're doing okay, and then between the videos watched and the presentations, how are we doing there? How many presentations did you get out of those 100 people that watched the videos? So that's where the follow-up happens, is in that category. And then from there, from the presentation to the joining, what's happening in that realm. So, but the important part in the beginning especially is who you sent it to and how many people watched it. And if they didn't watch it, then you can go back and say, hey, you can send it to them again to text, or you can call them. Did that answer your question, Lorraine?
Yes, it does.
Kind of.
The Excel sheet, I mean, I've been using those for a while, but not,
Okay.
just to kind of keep my record of my expenses, etc. So I'm familiar with that, but that's a good idea to use that Excel type of sheet, because you could put the date, their names and what you sent, and you have these categories and then the answers. So
And
that is good
he had
idea.
at the top on the Excel sheet, he at the top, it would record how many, it would add up for the month. He had
Yes,
one
yeah,
for each
yeah.
month, and it would
That I
add it
have
up
to,
so we could go, oh, here's how many sent. So you had the totals
yeah,
up there too, which was
yeah,
helpful.
that part I haven't learned yet. So
Well, you don't have to do it if you set up the thing right.
no, yeah,
I could
no,
probably use his
yeah,
thing and send it
yeah.
to you
Well,
if you
Maybe
wanted
put
to.
it on the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So, and then how do you know that they watched it or not? Just because of the response? Or they
Yes.
say they didn't want, don't have time,
Yes.
or
Yeah.
because
And
then,
there, he said, we talked about what about ghosting and that kind of thing too, which it means they don't respond. Well, he goes, if you think about your own life and you've got all these texts coming, they may have missed it. They may have said, oh, later, maybe the dog threw up and they got to go, you know what I mean? There's things that can happen. They intend to do it, but they don't do it. And then they forget and it gets in the pile.
yeah,
So it's okay to respond back to them and say, hey, just checking in. Did you have a chance to send it? So that you don't have to find it again. Here it is again. Send them the video again. So they don't have to go try to find it. So it's just life is what happens. It's not they're rejecting you necessarily. It just went by them and they didn't even see it. And my nephew is a good example. Um, I sent him 3 or 4 follow-up videos over a period of 2 months. Hey, it's Aunt Jeannie, have you had a chance to watch it? Finally came back and goes, I'm so sorry, Auntie. I I did see it, I did watch it, I just didn't respond back. So, I think it sounds really good, but right now I've just got too much on my plate, whatever they're going to say. And then you can say, great, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Would it be okay if we kept in touch about it? And they can say yes or no, you know,
yeah,
or
yeah.
would email be
so
better for you or whatever.
so your work at your office must be at least 6 hours.
Say that again.
A daily job in your office must be at least 6 hours.
Oh, no, no, actually it's very sporadic. And there were times when if I recorded in my day planner, then I could go back and fill it in on my sheet. And
Mhm.
sometimes it was like a late evening where I filled it in on my sheet. But I find that if you do it if you can schedule it into your evening, how many did
Mhm.
I send and who responded? It saves you some time. If you take 10 or 15 minutes and fill in the blanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I learned a lot about tracking. Oh boy. But it's
sure.
important because if you want someone to help you with that, they can look at your numbers and go, oh, okay. Because Richard Brooks said, and I know this is becoming kind of bad, but he said that um, I don't know what to do. If you can't tell me your numbers, I don't know how to help you. I don't know where to help you, which made sense to me.
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, good. So now back to your gal.
Yes.
What so you got her on, because sometimes we don't get them on the Zooms right away. You're sending out videos, you're sending out different links. Do you remember which way it went with her?
She watched everything I sent her
Okay.
and she told me this was great. I like this. Where did you find that? I'm creating she's a systems girl. She said, I'm creating my own little thing where I'm putting all of that so I know where everything is. Well, then we finally got her on WhatsApp. I said, you don't have to necessarily do that if you don't, unless you want to. But if you go to WhatsApp, we just went over that this week. Look up here, media links, docs. You're going to find those things that are shared already there. So, um, but because, and this is, I've heard of people, like, it's hard to pull someone along.
Mhm.
It's hard to push a rope or something. I don't know, one of those kind of things. But she is like nudging me, which is awesome because then I have to be better too. I'm going to stay a step ahead, not even a step ahead. And I don't have any problem saying to her, you know what? I need to find that out too. I know it's somewhere. I'm not sure exactly, but here's what we're going to do. But she comes on the videos. She gets on as many as she can. And so part of it is that person, you know, but just being there for them. And what did you like about that? And Barbara, you're so good about the questions that you ask to keep it simple. Get all over the place, but um, you know, what do you want to? Do you understand this? It's just asking a question about that. And when Sharon went through the first 18K Gold Accelerator
Yeah.
that week, that first one, we plugged her in on that Thursday night, and it was like we were the only ones there. It's like, oh, goodness. And Sharon goes, well, I didn't know it was going to be all about me. Oh my God. But I told her, I said, we are getting a system created. There's been systems around, but we're getting it. Mike is great at that. Ben, Barb, all these beautiful souls who are donating their time to help us in the field. And she said, wow. So she came on and she was a little we just talked about this too. She said, okay, so what's the system again? Well, I said Mondays, success stories, Tuesdays, balanced life, happy life. Wednesday is like a follow-up day. You can see what's going on. Thursday is the business, the more of about the business lock in. And Saturday's a training. And they may not get it all in one week. That person may not go all in one week. That person might need next week, we'll do this one, and then, whatever. However, it's about them. And Dave Rolfe had said to me, Jeannie, now it's about her. Once you know what you want, you can forget that. Now it's about her. What does she want? And so that's really helped me to stay focused on what is it that you want? Where do you want to go with this? Okay, let's work out a plan. Let's work out a strategy for that. And she's kind of like, I don't know exactly how much money, and I went, well, it's okay. You don't have to know exactly how much money, but she wants to replace her business with Nikan. And she's already found a gal working with her that's like her to take over. And so she's got this plan in her head. That's what counts is about her. Meanwhile, she's trusting me. She loves me. She's like in all of my glory, all of my all of my messed up, approaches or whatever. But she loves me, and that's good. So she trusts me, and therefore I'm wanting to be better too. Which it's great. It's teamwork. It's a team. It's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Yeah. That's great. Now, are you doing a weekly presentation with her, or are you just tapping into what we're doing with Nikan?
We just decided to have a weekly Zoom.
Okay.
I said, as the team grows, we're going to want to have this anyway. So we
Yeah.
have a Monday morning Zoom set up. We just did our first one this week, her and me. And then I said, let's plug into the company because she was thrilled about that because she's busy. She has lots on her plate. She was thrilled to have something to plug people into. And that's the beauty about Nikan and what we have here is we have a great team. We have a beautiful community to help you. And she feels like she could call Mike. She feels like she could call. She has that community feel already, you know. And so it's good.
the I had a question and I just dropped it. So does anybody have anything they want to input, ask, or share? Okay. So I know Jeff is going to be adding more business into the Balanced Life, Healthy Life. And so we have all those recordings, which are air, water, sleep. So we have those in our, I could say coffers, in our files of things set that we have. And so that's going to be a nice segue for that. And then I use Barb Satterwhite's, also she does the Wellness Home Tour with Q&A after, and then Thursday, the Happy Hydration with, so those are some nice plugins. I am going to send out the Susan Carver's training. It was done a while back, but it talks the distinction of prospecting and then recruiting. And we seem to want to do it all together. And the analogy I like to say is you don't get married on the first date. So, there is a process to that. And so it's beautiful how you have taken her through this time. And because maybe you are doing the 4-a-day and the other things a day, you're not just sitting there going, well, I wonder what Sharon's doing. Wonder what Sharon's doing. Wonder, about Sharon, because you don't have time to think about what Sharon's doing, at that moment when you're so that activity and the momentum. But you've been doing this full on, I know, for what, a year? I think you were in the
started in January, started in the middle of January, actually. Started sending the video in February. But and I, at the end of last year, I mean, some people had gone to Richard Brooks' class and I'd heard about it and I went, oh, in the back of my mind, I thought, I want to do that. But it just wasn't the right time. It just didn't feel like the right time yet. And so when I heard the January class was coming up, I went, I'm doing it. So there's your decision. We talk about making the decision. And that was the start for me. And I went, this is my year. I'm finding some, it's, all the stuff we hear, it'll come. It just came together for me and still is. And there has to be a continuance of that. I have a tendency, and maybe we all do as humans, I want to bring everybody through. Like I told Mike on his call this past week, I would like to bring somebody every week through this. He goes, well, yeah, okay. Why don't we make that a goal instead of a wish? So imagine that. So, but in order to do that, what are the numbers, So, and I learned that through going through Richard Brooks things. So 4-a-day, and 4-a-day sounds so massive, but what he promoted was 15 minutes. You send out a little, hey, watch this. Half the people, most of the people in my phone book didn't even know anything about Niken, other than she's doing something. And so let's educate them. Let's take them through a process. I love this because it's a process.
Well, you've got me finding my video again, and I watched it, and I actually say, I don't really know how you got in my phone, but you're in my phone. Like you might, I don't even help me remember.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We've got a lot of people there, so
and it's a tool. It's a tool we can use, and so are all of our success stories. I want to hear Susan Carver's thing. I just love her. I think she's fantastic, and I miss seeing her. But I know she's a busy girl too. But yeah. All plug them in, plug people in. Somebody's wanting sleep this next week on Balanced Life, Happy Life. It's the sleep thing. And Sharon just told me, she said, Jeannie, I got 2 people with sleeps that are wanting to borrow the sleep thing. I said, give them this, send them that, bring them on the call. She invited people to Dr. Gary doing a Balanced Life, Happy Life on why everyone needs a wellness home. It's such a great overview.
Now,
invite people
don't forget. Now, if they don't show up, she's got that list.
Yeah.
So now she's to
send the recording.
Them. Yeah.
She asked me, is it recorded if they can't come? And I went, oh, you bet. You bet.
Oh,
I
good.
can hook you up, or I can show you. Here's the thing, I can show you where to find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then, as time being our greatest commodity, and I
Well,
can spend a lot of time.
things change in people's lives along the way. And so it may not be for them at the moment when you first met her, but you planted that seed of possibility somewhere along the line. And so that's where I find it so fascinating. And, my gal, she went and got a job. And I'm like, no, no, why? Because she thought she would meet more people out there. And there she is. So, but now she quit that job. So we're gonna have you on. Hey, Joanne. So I'm gonna end the recording right now, guys. Thanks so much, and let's keep the questions going. Hold on. All right.
Thank you, Barbara.